got me going psycho. She got me going down, down, down. Got me living on a tightrope. She got me going down, down.
The first time I did drag, it's funny because I didn't even know what drag was at the time. It was 9th grade, it was my freshman year, and there's this thing called airband in our high school where most people just choreograph some routine and then lip sync to a song because the requirement is to lip sync to some song or song as a group. And then, but I guess the first time I technically did drag was in university when we were doing an amateur drag show, and I did Lady Gaga's Donatella, and I ended up getting a standing ovation. I felt like amazing and it was crazy, but then I just like realized that the amount of work that was going into it, I was like, I don't know if I can handle doing that much drag. So I kind of like put it off of my mind for I think about a year or two, and I didn't really even I didn't plan on doing it for a while. Growing up, I was always into sort of musicals, theater, and singing, like the whole, I guess, musical theater, the whole thing. Performing has always been in me, but I don't have the singing talent to carry me onto musical theater. So drag is a really good, next best thing. When I first started drag, I think I was more leaning towards being fishy. Some of the inspirations I've had were other queens in Toronto. Like Savonda Cox was a really big high production queen in Toronto. But lately my drag has been more inspired by a bunch of makeup artists on Instagram like Rye Burke or Timothy Hong Kong, Is She Hungry? But a really big inspiration for lately has been my own daughter made in China. Every time she steps her pussy up, I feel like I have to step my pussy up, and it really drives me to do something more interesting, more different every time. I think representation in the community is very important, especially since even on within our own community, but also in general, even on, if you see on Drag Race, there's so many white queens. There's always I feel like there's always a lack of colored queens, especially Asian queens. There's only like 1 or 2 on a season. Season 7 I don't think had one at all. With the lack of representation creates a lack of inspiration for the same kind of person. With, I guess, their upbringing, they're a little more unfamiliar with the drag scene. They're already unfamiliar with being queer in general. So I feel like they need more inspiration to be able to be themselves, to be able to come out, to be able to try drag. And that's what I think myself and Made in China are really trying to push for within the community. It's a big part of what we're trying to do. Actually, I'm trying to bring a sort of Asian nightclub event to Vancouver to kind of get the queer Asians of Vancouver a little bit more of a safe space, because I feel like they don't feel as comfortable here as they do in Toronto. I feel like it's part of our duties as community leaders to bring that to them and have them create some sort of safe space for them. Hopefully be some sort of Asian night coming up soon with a bunch of Asian queens who are there for them and show them how to be free and how to be themselves. I grew up with my parents being immigrants and not knowing a lot of English. They have learned a lot since we've been here because they had to with work. I mean, I learned English and Vietnamese at the same time, so I never had to go to ESL or anything, but I definitely did struggle a little bit with going between the two. I wouldn't say I would be very fluent, but I can get by. And I think because of that, now that I have drag, and because drag I feel like is a part of you and it's a part of your identity, I feel like I need to incorporate that part of my identity into my drag. My parents don't know I do drag. My mom knows I'm gay, my dad doesn't really know I'm gay. He always asks me if I have a girlfriend. Putting my culture and my ancestry into my drag at times is sort of a way to appreciate my parents without telling them. For that, I'm proud of who I am, regardless of what they may think about what I do. As I'm evolving, I'm figuring out more and more of who I am. I wanted this year to really showcase different parts of me, and doing that Vietnamese number in the Cobalt finale was the most, like, I feel like was such a highlight, such an important thing for me to do, especially to show all of Vancouver a really big part of me.
I don't know you, but I know that you special. Fuck a verse, fuck a hook.